Happy Monday morning and welcome back to DR Sports for another weekend roundup. As usual, we missed it last week because this fellow was in Nigeria, but he's back now. It's myself, AGT, and Don Robbie. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I've acclimatised back after going to Nigeria. Was brilliant, by the way.
We need to have a chat about that because the content was unreal.
Yeah. We did some great stuff over there on air. If you haven't watched any of it yet, go and check it out on AFTV. But it's fantastic. But it's good to be back.
Back to business.
Back to business. Was at the game yesterday.
You were.
That was good. It was a good game. Against Leeds, you know, it was a little bit nervy in the end. We'll go on and talk about that. And it was a big weekend of football. Liverpool, Man City. Who's going to win the title? Who's going to get top four? That's interesting as well because of the result. There's so much meaning of your game. Had a bearing on both who's going to win the league and who's going to get into the top four. It was just a huge weekend of football.
As it always is at this time of the year. It's always something massive happens every weekend, and we're going to dive into
Not normally for Arsenal, you know what I mean? Normally our season's finished over the past couple of years. The season's been over. That's why it's been so nice, you know, this time that we've actually still got something to fight for, you know?
There you go. And guys, before we get into the meat and two veg of this weekend's of football, don't forget to like, comment with your thoughts on how your team did at the weekend, and also subscribe if you haven't already. Some mad comments coming in already, and we will touch on those. But let's dive in then to the biggest game, I think, or the game that has really had the biggest effect on the title race. It was Liverpool 1, Tottenham 1. We did the watch along here on DR Sports. I mean, that was some stream. It really was.
It was. Toby on that stream. If you haven't seen the stream yet, I think there's a clip on DR of Toby going absolutely mental when Tottenham scored. And when I say mental, I mean like proper.
I actually was worried for him after because the amount of energy that Toby exerted doing that celebration, I was thinking,
I think he's going to go through the floor.
He needs some medical attention here. But listen, massively disappointing result for Liverpool. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I wasn't disappointed with it. Of course I was. And you can go back and watch the fan cams. Doyle and I put it to rest really and said that, listen, if we don't win this one, it was never ours to win because City have been top the whole season there. But let's talk about
we even get to the stats yet.
What you got for me?
What do you mean? This is what you said on Saturday, right? And I'm telling you,
what did I say?
What is all this about? It was never ours to win anyway. Well, you know what I mean? A couple of weeks ago, you were talking about going for the quadruple.
Yeah.
So what do you mean it's
because we had a decent chance, but this obviously deflates us massively. And
yeah, I know, but what do you mean it was never yours to win anyway? What are you talking about? You've been in it. You've been 1 point. You've been 1 point below them.
Okay, so
right,
it can't be
for about
us. We're chasing the people.
You're chasing, but what do you mean it's never yours to win? You're putting the pressure on.
How can it be ours to win if we're not top?
You've got to put the pressure on.
That's what we've been doing.
Yeah, and you blew it at the weekend. Just say that. Don't say it was never yours to win. Like, we were never in it. You're only 1 point off. What do you mean?
All right, well, let's get into some stats before we get into all this. Because there's so much to dissect here, right?
You do your stats.
Tottenham's Son Heung-min has scored 12 and been involved in 17 more Premier League goals than any other player in 2022. That's incredible. He's the second Tottenham player to score 20 Premier League goals in a season without any of them being penalties, Rob.
No, it's been amazing what he's done.
Since Gareth Bale in 2012, 2013. Mo Salah made his 250th appearance for Liverpool in the league on Saturday. Despite failing to score in this game, he has still scored more goals, 155, than any other Premier League player in all competitions since making his debut for the Reds in August 2017. Bit of a futile stat, really, because Salah himself didn't score at the weekend and hasn't been in the best of form, Robbie. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, you were a Liverpool fan this weekend, weren't you?
I was.
I'm sorry for letting you down.
You let us down. You
still did the business anyway, so
you let us down big time, man.
But what did you make of this game in general?
I thought Liverpool were really poor. I was really surprised. You know, I think we might, for the first time this season, I've sort of seen the effects of playing in the Champions League during the week really have an effect on Liverpool because, I don't know, it just didn't seem on it. Tottenham were really good. I have to admit, you know, I mean, even as an Arsenal fan, their tactics were spot on. They just sat deep and just waited to catch Liverpool on the counter attack, and it worked. And I have to be honest, I think Liverpool pretty fortunate to get out of there with a point, because that's one stage. It didn't look like Liverpool were going to score. They just couldn't break Tottenham down. Their defence played really, really well. They were looking like they were going to see it out, and it was a little deflected goal from Diaz that got Liverpool back in it. And even at the end, there was a little breakaway where, again, Tottenham up. I couldn't believe how wide open at the back Liverpool were. I mean, the first goal,
No one went to press Kane.
It was just vacated down that side. I think Tottenham, I can understand why Toby and that were so gassed, because they did play well. And I thought Liverpool didn't put in a great performance. And it was interesting listening to Klopp after. I've heard that before with Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger used to complain about the same sort of things and when he was Arsenal manager, and say that, teams come in and parking the bus and sitting deep and not even trying to play football. But listen, when you're a team like Liverpool and a team like Arsenal, how Arsenal used to be back in the day, that will attack teams and rack up goals, especially when you're playing at home, you have to find a way to play against them, and that's what Tottenham did. And I think Klopp is a little bit on the sour grape side. I don't know. What did you think about that?
What, his comments?
Yeah.
It's difficult when he says stuff like that to watch, because you don't like to see Klopp reacting that way, because it means we haven't won the game necessarily. So I think there is a tendency sometimes for him to really come out and defend his team because of the tactics of the other team or whatever. But there's still no excuse. We still should be scoring goals. We still should be playing better than that at home. And I think what he said about Conte's style of football, it not being for him, is quite clear to see, because Klopp isn't a defensive manager. He's an attacking manager on the front foot who loves to play the gegenpress kind of football, where you play against another team. And let's be honest, we know as Liverpool fans, we're not this naive. We know as Liverpool fans that teams can't come to Anfield and play it their way. We know that. If every team did try to come to Anfield and play it their way, then it would be.
So why is he going on about it? Why is he going on about it?
However, when a team comes and plays that defensively, it's massively frustrating for us. And it was more frustrating on our point because we couldn't break that down. We're frustrated at it.
Literally every team.
It's our fault for not breaking it down enough.
Literally every team that come, bar a couple, this season to Anfield plays in a similar way.
Yeah.
Right? Because they know how difficult it is to get a point at Anfield. So he's used to teams playing in that way. Why did he have to go start saying that? Right? It just came across as him being very, very salty, because he knew he blew it, really. He blew it. That could be it. That could be the title race done and dusted. Although I was looking at the fixtures today, remaining, and
got to go West Ham away.
They've got to go West Ham away.
Just won 4-0.
They've got to go to, and West Ham have still got something to play for, because they could go above United, and we're going to talk about them later. They've still got, who's the other team they've got?
They've still got Villa as well.
Villa, yeah. They've still got to go to Villa. So, no, I think they've got Villa at home. They're not the easiest fixtures, but the way they're playing Man City, the fact that all they've got to play for now is that league. You can see, with the things Pep's saying, he's wound up, he's focused on it. I can't see them slipping up. I think Liverpool, they kind of blew it on Saturday. They really did. And hence why Klopp was being so salty. Timor here says, Klopp keep crying about how other people play football.
And then also High Tech J says, whenever Liverpool so much as draw a game, he turns into a Karen. I do like that comment.
I like that one.
But listen, Arctic
Karen
Temper.
Davis says, this is embarrassing. It's a compliment for teams to play like that. It means that they fear you. If you can't get the job done, then too bad. And he's put 3 salt emojis.
Karen Klopp says, Graham TV. 8 draws for Liverpool this season, says Arctic Temper. Now, that is a standout for me, Rob. You cannot draw 8 games and expect to win the league. It doesn't happen. We've lost 2 games in the league this season. That's 10 points, 10 games that we've dropped points in. And if you add it all up, I would assume that we're going to finish over 90 points this season, which still wins you the Premier League maybe, 15 years out of however many years it's been going. But when the other team is Man City, those eight games that you've dropped points in, they come back to really bite you.
Hearing this,
they really do.
From these Liverpool fans, if it weren't for City, we'd win this. It's just City are here. They're here, so you have to try and
we're trying.
You have to try and surpass them. You are trying.
We're trying.
But in the league, it's just not. It just not seem to be, be able to
Well,
surpass them. They
literally
are
got
such a good team.
11 clean sheets in our last 13 games. Like, the stats are still unbelievable. Even though we've just drawn at the weekend, the stats you still have to put so much respect on.
Gustavo says Carabao Klopp.
Yeah, big up, Gus. It's actually the name of my dog, so yeah, big up to you, mate.
What, Carabao Klopp?
No, just Gus. Gus. Definitely not that, mate, you cheeky boy. James says, if AGT is a true Liverpool fan, now I'm betting my house on Arsenal winning the Prem next year, Robbie. I mean, that's a weird bet.
Go and bet your house then. Go and bet your house on it.
It's like the 08-09 season. Liverpool only lost twice, but still lost the league to United. Very true from Don Barnes 91. Not John Barnes, Don Barnes.
Timor says, AGT, even if City lose a game, they already have a +2 goal difference.
Yep.
So they can afford a loss if their goal difference stays higher.
Well, you look at a 5-0 win from City yesterday, which we will talk about. That is a massive goal difference.
But let's talk about that game.
We might as well blend into that game then.
Let's talk about that game because their response was a 5-0 win.
It was emphatic.
Emphatic. And that's what that's why I think they are going to win the league. I think, listen, Liverpool have been brilliant in the way in which they've kept the pressure on and they've been chasing down Manchester City, but they're just a machine City at the moment, you know what I mean? And, it was again another demolition job. How many times have they scored 4 or 5 goals this season? I mean,
a lot of times.
Cheers,
Matty Renton, by the way. Yeah? Thanks for losing 5-0 yesterday, mate. I thought with your run, we're talking about Newcastle being one of the best teams in 2022 so far. You go and do that. Cheers, Matty. You're not coming on the Saturday football show.
And actually missed a couple of, Callum.
Yeah, man. Callum Wilson.
He missed a one-on-one.
Do you know what? I was watching that game in the pub yesterday, Rob, and as soon as it turned to 1-0, I just sat outside. There's no point in carrying on watching that. Yeah, you know what's coming. But let's talk about the City game. 5-0 win. Did you see, and this was very interesting, it's something I wanted to bring up, did you see Pep's comments after the game?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
What did you think of those? And just remind people what he actually said.
Well, he was talking about that Liverpool, everybody wants to see Liverpool win the league, right? So, you got the quote here. Pep Guardiola said, Liverpool has an incredible history in European competitions, but not in the Premier League because they've only won 1 in 30 years.
And he also said that everyone in the media, everyone in England supports Liverpool, which is very strange comments considering he's won 5-0.
There is a lot of support for Liverpool. If you're being honest, right, a lot more people in the media, a lot more people in publications, everything, they back Liverpool, don't they, rather than City. City
but why
still...
is that?
Liverpool's a much bigger club. Liverpool's more established club, bigger history. So I guess there's more Liverpool fans in the media and stuff like that.
But why is he saying
and I also
after
feel a lot of
5-0?
fans in general. I feel a lot of fans in general look on it and say, right, you know what? Liverpool, they've kind of done it organically. All right, they spent a lot of money, but they've sold players to buy players. You know what I mean? Yeah. They haven't had like the oil money that Manchester City have had. Manchester City have had this big injection of £1 billion over the X amount of years, which has brought them from nowhere.
Which will make people not like you.
Yeah, so that's why I think a lot of people want Liverpool to win, but he's actually being factual, isn't he? Most people probably want Liverpool to win the title rather than City. And then I think as well, the other thing you've got to factor into it is that they win it nearly every year at the moment. You know what I mean? I mean, apart from the year that, if they win it this year, that's 4 out of the last 5 years they have won it. And we're hearing the news today they're about to buy Haaland. It's probably going to be 6 out of 5 now. You know what I mean? So this is why people would rather Liverpool win it. But he sounded very salty about it. Yeah.
I mean, the comment that Liverpool have won 1 league in the last 30 years, I mean, it's easy to read that and find it a bit of a shot at Liverpool. But if we actually look at it, he goes on about Liverpool only winning 1 league in 30 years. I mean, they still haven't won the Champions League. I mean, there needs to be more pressure on Pep for that reason alone, I think. But
there is pressure on him.
Let me show you this, though. 1 league in 30 years for Liverpool, it's true. Again, facts. We're
1 Premier League in 30 years.
1 Premier League in 30 years, true. Here's the actual longest ever drought. So Spurs went 67 years without winning a title. Chelsea, twice 50-year droughts. 50-year droughts twice. United, 41 years since when Fergie came in, the gap between winning the league. Manchester City, 44 years without winning a league. And Liverpool went 30 years without winning a league. So I think people need to be reminded of the droughts if we're going to go down that road. Because if he says that, we can just say, well, you haven't won the Champions League.
But you used to win. When I was growing up as a kid, Liverpool
Why didn't you
won the
support
league.
Liverpool as a kid?
You mad? Right. You know what I mean? A lot of my mates did support Liverpool because they used to win the league every year. So Liverpool used to win the league every year. Liverpool's team in those days was unreal. You know what I mean? With John Barnes and Ian Rush and people like that. They won the league every year. So for them to go so long without winning it, that's been incredible to see. But it can happen. I'm seeing even at the moment with Arsenal, we got over 20 years now since we won the league. We used to win it regularly.
United, 10 plus years now.
United, you know what I mean? So it's getting harder and harder. But I think, going back to it, the thing with Manchester City is that there's a lot of people that just look on it and say, well, hold on, before you start saying that, Pep, you wouldn't be winning it if you didn't have that injection of cash. You wouldn't even be there.
No.
You know what I mean?
He literally would not be there.
So I think he's being... I see what he's trying to do in a way, because what he's also trying to do, he's trying to get that siege mentality going, innit? Like, no one likes us, we don't care, Millwall type thing, like, them. Us against them, right? So he's trying to get that going with his players, with the fans, and in a way, it's a little bit of a smart move, because he's trying to take away some of the pressure, that he's had all week. He spoke about Seedorf and people like that who questioned the mentality.
Seedorf, by the way, Rob.
Yeah, but he questioned the mentality, didn't he, Seedorf, of Manchester City and them not being able to win the Champions League, because basically Seedorf was saying you're not a big club, right? So those things have definitely annoyed him.
He's won it 4 times, Seedorf.
Yeah. Those things have really annoyed him, and he's trying to sort of take that now and use that sort of siege mentality to say, listen, we are a big club, and actually we win everything. And, who are Liverpool to run their mouth up, because they've only won it once in the last 30 years. But I think, as I said, a lot of fans, I don't know, maybe we should put it to a poll out there on who wants City to win it. Because there's also a lot of fans that I've spoken to that know lots of Liverpool fans that would rather, City win it. So he's not strictly right on that, because especially with the quadruple stuff and that, I think there's been a lot of fans that have been like, you know what will our summer be like if somebody like this and they've just gone and won the quadruple? It will be a summer of misery, not even a summer. You got 2 years at least of misery and hearing it every single day.
If we won the quad, that would have been totally deserved.
Exactly. So there's a lot of football fans, they'll be like, you know what? I'd rather City win.
Is that jealousy, though? Because
that's football. That's football
their
fans.
team to be doing that as well.
That's football fans, isn't it?
Okay, well, I think it's jealousy.
If we were on the way to another invincible season...
I would be mad jealous of you.
Would you want us to win to do it?
No, because I'm jealous of you.
Exactly.
Because I'd be jealous, because I'd want us to win it.
It's not even jealousy. It's
Robbie,
the fact.
It is, man.
You know what? It's not even jealousy. It's the fact that you're just like, I just don't...
If Arsenal were on the brink of the quadruple, right, I guarantee, and I'm telling you now, I would not want them to win it because I'm jealous. Because I want to be there.
Yeah.
And that's a compliment.
I think there's I
don't want Liverpool to win it, they're going to win it. Oh, that's a compliment.
There's an element of jealousy, but a lot of times it's more the fact that you're going to have to face up to... Like when Tottenham were in the final of the Champions League, I'm like, how am I going to face up to these Tottenham fans if they win the Champions League before us?
Because you wanted to be in the Champions League final.
No, but it wasn't just that. It's like they're going to be able to brag and say they've won it before us. You know what I mean? So you don't want your rivals to go and win it. But listen, how's that quadruple going anyway?
Robbie.
You see, that's why. That's why we've. You know what? I admire Liverpool as a football club. I really do. I look at what they've done, and as I said, why I kind of do have a preference to Liverpool over Man City is because of the way they're doing it. I like the way they're doing it. Whereas City, I'm sorry. The news today, they're buying Haaland. Yeah. They'll probably win the league again next season.
Where's the fun in that, man?
It's the money and the funds that they have blows everybody away, right? And that's what enables them to be able to win titles year in, year out. It's facts.
It is.
And that's why so many people were gloating and glad that they got knocked out of the Champions League. Because, it's just like, the oil money's failed again. And that's all, you hear a lot of fans with that. But I understand Pep is trying to do it from a siege mentality point of view. Amit says Pep has got it completely wrong. I'd rather City win the league because their wins are irrelevant. I support Arsenal, he says. So, you know, it's yeah, but on that, Haaland coming to Manchester City now next season. There's a lot of reports today saying that, you know, he's told Borussia Dortmund he's definitely leaving, and it's more or less done that Erling Haaland is going to join Manchester City. How good is that going to make them? They've lacked a striker. I've been saying this again. Pep Guardiola is an unbelievable manager, but I think he does make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but he does make some big mistakes sometimes. And not buying a striker this year was a huge mistake. All right,
is it a mistake if they win the league?
They're gonna turn around and say, "Oh, but he'll turn around and say, yeah, but I won the league." Which we
could have won the Champions League if you had a striker.
But not only that, they would have won the league earlier.
Yeah.
If they had a striker.
Yeah.
Right. But they've not had a striker, so you know you've seen City in a lot. Look at the Champions League, right? The first leg against Real Madrid, how many chances did they miss?
Mahrez missed a big
chance after chance after chance. Is he gonna say if they never had an out-and-out striker? I mean, Mahrez has had a great season scoring goals.
Yeah.
But Erling Haaland is going to make a massive difference to them. And, again, now
Haaland was
probably going to mean that next season now that, you know.
Haaland was always going to go to City because of his dad. His dad played for Man City. So all this chat about other
there's rumours of United, but I think
he was wearing a Leeds shirt a few years ago. Does that mean he was going to go to Leeds?
There was rumours that he's an Arsenal fan as well.
Well, is he?
I heard a rumour.
He must be too young to be an Arsenal fan because he's only about 20 himself and they haven't won the league for that.
But the strong rumours is that he was going to go United. But I think he's seen the mess at Man United and thought to himself, nah.
But let's not forget, City have also bought, is it Alvarez from Argentina that's coming in as the number 9 to replace Aguero?
He's a young guy, isn't he?
Young guy, but it could be the next Aguero Jesus. It could be Haaland and Alvarez now.
Yeah. Arctic Temper says, big respect to Haaland, staking his reputation in the Premier League. Messi, Lewandowski, etc. too scared to take the risk. And Cello says, Haaland better not flop like the other Bundesliga players who've come to the Premier League. Not all of them have flopped. I think Havertz has got off to a fairly slow start, but he's been very good, hasn't he?
Scored the winner in the Champions League final,
He scored massive goals. Werner's been a flop,
for sure. For
Werner's
sure.
been a flop.
Let us know on the back of that comment, actually, which other Bundesliga players have come in that you think haven't done or performed as well as they should have done in the Premier League. Should we move on from City? Should we go further down the league? Because I'm fed up of talking about it.
All right, let's move on from City.
Right, let's talk about your club, because apart from the title race, the top 4 race is the other mad talking point at the minute that seems to change every week. It's almost as if no one wants it, but apparently now Arsenal want it. So are they going to keep hold of it, Rob? 2-1 win against Leeds yesterday. We had James, the Leeds fan, in here on Saturday who had these visions and hallucinogenic kind of thoughts that he thought they were going to win 1-0 at the Emirates yesterday. Listen, they put in a strong performance, but tell me, because you're at the game, did that red card change everything? Because let's not forget, you were 2-0 up at that point anyway.
Didn't change anything, really, because we didn't score any more goals after then. And if anything, it just allowed them to go ultra defensive. And we found it very difficult to break them down. We should have scored, Arsenal. We should have scored about another 2 goals at least. We missed a lot of chances. And that old saying that 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline, you know, because all the team needs to do is get 1 back and it lifts them. And they got, literally, that was their only attack of the game. That you know, and from a set piece, we switched off. Obviously, we've not had much defending to do the whole game, and they got the goal. But I thought that Arsenal managed the game pretty well after that. You know what I mean? They managed it well and saw it home pretty comfortably in the end. But Leeds were very, very poor, I thought, man. You know what I mean? A lot of what happened was self-inflicted. I mean, the first goal, what is the keeper doing? You know, Eddie...
Similar to the Liverpool goal against City in the FA Cup semi-final.
Eddie charges him down, scores. Eddie scores the second one again.
No, big up to Eddie Nketiah.
Eddie Nketiah's done well, really well.
Say that. Big him up.
Really well. If Arsenal do get into that top 4, he would have been an integral part of that.
Because he was getting the most slack, Robbie. And it's unfair for him not to get the praise when he deserves it.
You know what, AGT, right? The players that have come in. So Arsenal, this is what I've really liked about this Arsenal team over the last, say, obviously we came back after the international break. We lost 3 on the bounce to teams we were expected to win. And everybody was like, and then we had injuries to Thomas Partey, injuries to Ben White, injuries to important players in this team. And everyone's, a loss of form for Lacazette. And we're thinking, oh my God, what are we going to do? There's players that have come in, AGT, and they have stepped up to the plate. Eddie Nketiah, he's scored now 4 goals. I thought he was outstanding.
4 goals in his last 4 games, Rob.
Yeah, he was outstanding last week as well against West Ham without scoring. He scored 2 there. He scored 2 against yesterday. He scored 2 against Chelsea. Mohamed El Neni has come in that midfield. He's been brilliant. Rob Holding's coming for Ben White. He's been brilliant. Cedric, who's been deputising on the right-hand side for Tomiyasu, he's been brilliant. So 4 players that have come in for big established players that have been the players that have been doing really well for us this season. When those players were out, we were all thinking the worst. They've come in and really stepped up. So I think, and this is the youngest, I think the youngest team in the Premier League, Arsenal.
Yeah, it is.
The youngest team. And guys like Eddie are young, Saka, Smith Rowe, these, Martinelli, young players. Really doing well. So it was a massive win for Arsenal, especially after what Spurs did. A lot of Arsenal fans would have expected Spurs to lose at Anfield. They got a point that buoyed them up. But the fact that we won the game yesterday, Arsenal, means that we go into that North London derby on Thursday 4 points ahead of them. That gives us a bit of a cushion, a bit of a buffer, that even if we lost the game,
still ahead.
Yeah, we're still ahead. But for me, I'm not even looking on it from that point of view. I'm looking on it from the point of view that if Arsenal go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Thursday and win that game, they will confirm they're in the top 4. It's massive. It's massive. So to me, I'm not looking on it from the glass half empty side. I'm looking from the glass half full side. That go there, get that win. It's going to be tough. We haven't beaten Tottenham at their place in years, but go there and get that win. It's a massive incentive. But I thought, good performance by Arsenal, but Leeds, and I said this a few weeks ago on here. It was me and Fuad was on, and I looked at the fixtures and I said, Fuad, you know what? I think Leeds might go. And he's like, oh no, I'm not sure, Robbie, but maybe Everton. I said to him, listen, you know what? When I looked at the remaining games, I said, if you look at Everton's games, a lot of them are at home. And Everton at home are a different Everton to Everton away, right? They beat Chelsea at home. They beat an Arsenal at home.
Just beat Leicester
They beat
away.
Man United at home, right? Yep. So I said, a few of, they've got a game in hand, and I think 3 of their last 4 games are at home. So I fancied them to get out of it. Burnley have been on I was a bit surprised that they kind of got hammered at home. We'll go on to that. But Burnley, they've been resurgent. Leeds, though, when you look at their fixtures, they're tough fixtures they've got from now till the end of the season, and they can't defend. They cannot defend AGT. That's the problem with them. Yeah. I feel a bit sorry for Leeds because look how many injuries they've had.
Calvin Phillips, Bamford, Cooper, who's easily their best
Harrison
defender.
now.
Yeah.
Luke Hayling's gone and got himself stupidly sent
all
off.
of those last games that they need him for.
Yeah, so...
Stepping captain. Leeds' defeat, coupled with Everton's victory at Leicester, means that Leeds will finish the day yesterday in the relegation zone for the first time since October the 30th. Luke Ayling's red card after only 27 minutes was Leeds' earliest in a Premier League game since '98, when Lucas Radebe was sent off against Everton. Do you remember him?
Lucas Radebe, good South African legend, man. Brilliant.
You know what? I'm going to make a comment here about Arsenal, and Robbie, you'll like this, right? If, and again, I can't say when because the season hasn't finished, if Arsenal finish in the top 4 this season with the youngest squad in the Premier League, that is a massive achievement. I would go as far as saying, apart from winning the league, that's the second best achievement in the league if Arsenal finish top 4.
It will be an amazing achievement.
Youngest team.
It will be an amazing achievement. The youngest team in the Premier League. And as I said to you, there. I mean, I just said I feel sorry for Leeds. And by the way, we've got a poll up. Who's going to get relegated? Will it be Everton, Leeds or Burnley? So let us know. But I said that I just felt sorry for Leeds and the amount of injuries they've had. But equally, as I said, Arsenal have had a lot of injuries in recent times, but the players that have come in, unheralded players, have stepped up. And a lot of that praise has to go to the manager for keeping them motivated. We see with Man United, for instance, players that are not playing, they're just literally down tools, haven't they? They can't be bothered. But with Arsenal, players that are not playing, players that are leaving. El Nenny's contract's up at the end of the season. So is Lacazette's. So is Eddie Nketiah. And he's still got them, Mikel Arteta, playing for the badge. So I think he's doing something really good there. And honestly, if they could get the top four, it's absolutely massive. Absolutely massive.
Chelsea slipping
as regards Arsenal. Well,
third, Rob.
Chelsea, we're going to go on and should we go on and
Let's
talk
go
about
on to
Chelsea
then yesterday, because we had Matisse on the Saturday football show, which again was a belter show, by the way.
It was.
And there was a minute right at the end, right, where I said, you've seen that clip, right? I said to Matisse, if Wolves get an equaliser, and again, this was the last 30 seconds of the game, and I myself said, they'll win this now. But I said, if Wolves get an equaliser here, we're going to put up a picture of Matisse with no hair. And as I finished saying the sentence, I went, oh my God, they've done it. So yeah, it was Chelsea 2, Wolves 2.
And you put the picture up with him.
And we put the picture up straight away as well. So Matisse, sorry, bro.
And I thought I was bored, boy. That was shiny.
That was shiny. Chelsea failed to win a Premier League game in which they were 2-0 up for the first time since October 2020. This was Southampton, having won 24 consecutive such matches prior to the weekend. And Wolves haven't conceded a first-half goal in any of their last 17 away games in the Premier League, the longest run in the competition's history. Lukaku scored his first Premier League goals for Chelsea since netting back-to-back games against Villa and Brighton in December, ending a run of 10 appearances without finding the back of the net in this competition. But 13 of the last 15 goals that Chelsea have conceded in the Premier League have come in the second half. So a bit of an issue for Chelsea going into that FA Cup final at the weekend. But that stat surprises me. It's almost as if Chelsea have gone from having one of the best defences in the league to, in the second half, you can really penetrate them and get what you need.
They've been shocking. And you know, let me just say this, AGT, right? And I'd like to ask Matisse this question, right? Because I think it's gone a little bit under the radar with Chelsea. This season, if they don't win the FA Cup, would have been an absolute disaster. Actually, let me take the FA Cup out of it. This season, for Chelsea in the Premier League, has been an absolute disaster. I know they're third at the moment. They're a point above Arsenal.
5 years since they've won.
They could actually get past. And let's just rewind back. And obviously we've got Todd Miller in the chat. Big up to Todd Miller. He's a regular here on DR Sports. He says, anyone have a left back we can borrow for the FA Cup?
Ashley Cole?
He's making excuses there already. He was full of talk a few weeks ago, and the energy's gone from Todd Miller, right? And that's when you know things are bad, when the energy goes from Todd Miller, right? But the thing is, rewind back to the start of the season. There are a lot of pundits making Chelsea favourites to win the league. And United. But Chelsea in particular, they'd invested in Lukaku. A lot of people they've got all the bits now to, all the finished bits. Yeah. Now, I know a lot of, Todd Miller's there sort of saying there, but left back, they have had injuries in those wide positions that have, in particular there, just cost them a bit. But with the squad that they've got and the players they've got, should be able to overcome that. City have had injuries with Diaz, literally the whole season. One of their main guys, they're still where they are. So I just look on it and say it's gone under the radar a bit. But in the league, it's been a dreadful season for Chelsea when you consider how much money they spent, when you consider that they were one of the favourites. Right, I know a lot of people might jump in and say, they're going to finish above Arsenal. It's not about that. You were supposed to finish above Arsenal anyway, but to be nearly 20-odd points off the top of the league with the amount of investment that's been made, and I think...
Howler, really? If we're
I think at the end of the season, listen, I'm not in no way suggesting that Tuchel should be sacked because he's a great manager, but he's going to be, he's got questions to answer about the league. And if they was to finish, the thing is about it, if you look at the league, there is a danger they could actually finish outside the top 4, could still be caught by Tottenham and Arsenal. I don't think they will be. If you look at their games, even if they didn't beat Leeds, they still got to play Watford.
Yeah.
Watford are awful. They'll beat Watford. But I just think in the league, they've really, where you say Arsenal have overachieved in the league if they get
Massively
top 4.
underachieved Chelsea.
Chelsea have underachieved. Chelsea, with the squad that they've got, the players they've got, they should have been putting pressure under Liverpool and City. It should have been them 3 teams going for the league. That's my opinion.
Todd Miller also says Chilwell out and Alonso versus Tuchel fight is out. Kennedy is all we have. Did you hear about this reasoning that Tuchel took off Alonso at half-time?
No, I didn't hear about it.
Apparently he called him an hijo de puta, which in Spanish isn't a nice word. And apparently he was taken off at half-time. So Todd Miller is saying Kennedy, who I didn't even know was still at Chelsea.
I didn't know he was still at Chelsea.
is all they have. So interesting. Chelsea fans, let
Chelsea
us know
is
how
Todd.
it's gone
Todd,
for you.
I want to hear from Todd. Todd, what do you make of the season? Honestly, what do you make of the season? Could still win the FA Cup, so they could still end up with a trophy. They won the World
Super Cup, World Club Cup.
Right, they won that, and it's a great achievement. But really and truly, in the league, which is your bread and butter, I think Chelsea have really, really underachieved this season. And
Chelsea fans, let us know.
Want to hear from that. But Joey AFC Largy says, can we talk about Manchester United, lads?
Shall we talk
and
about
he's
Man
put
United?
about 20 laughing emojis in there. Now, oh my God.
Well, let's talk about them,
my God.
right? Because we were here watching the game with yourself just before the Liverpool game kicked off on Saturday night. And Robbie, the goals were flying in, and it should have been more.
Should have been more.
I mean, I wish Flex was doing this with me this morning. I think I'm doing the preview show with him on Friday, so I'm going to get to grill him then. But I'm just like, I'm running out of words. I'm shocked now. Brighton 4, Manchester United 0. This was Brighton's biggest ever top flight win in history. It was their 356th match in the Premier League.
Brighton, a team that can't score at home, by
It was their biggest
the way.
ever game. Oh,
They've
my
already scored a
goodness.
goal at home.
But hear this for Manchester United and United fans, you might want to turn the audio off for the next 10 seconds because this defeat leaves Man United on 58 points with just 1 Premier League game remaining this season, guaranteeing that this season will be their lowest ever points tally in a campaign in the Premier League. Previously it was 64, that was their lowest under David Moyes. So, Rob, I mean, where do United go from here? Have they even got the time over the summer to fix all their problems?
Arctic Temper says 25% of Brighton's home goals this season came in that match.
Oh, wow.
I said they can't buy a goal.
A quarter.
And they could have had more. First of all, before I even get to the summer, I remember when, we're going to have to, what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to do a compilation house, yeah? Right? We try and put that together before the end of the season of what people said then as comparison to now.
Great shout.
I remember Saeed coming into this studio and talking about Ralph Rangnick and how great he is and what he's going to do and he's going to transform. And I remember I said to him at that time, I said, what makes you think Rangnick's going to be a success? What has he done? I said, it's different to being upstairs at a football club to actual managing it. How did he's go, no, you're going to see Rangnick this, Rangnick ball.
We're seeing it now.
Rangnick has been a disaster. An absolute disaster.
But we can't blame him. He has been a disaster, but
well, you've got to blame him as well.
You take some
You
of
blame
the blame.
Ollie, yeah. I
Take
know you
some of the
blame Ollie, but you blame. I know everyone's heaping all the thing on the owners now. At the start of the season, they weren't. They were all saying they were all happy.
Bought Varane and Sancho
They bought Varane, they
Ronaldo.
bought Sancho, they bought Ronaldo. Right. Apart from Ronaldo, the other two haven't really worked out so far. I think Sancho in the future will do.
Yeah, hasn't though.
Varane's been a disaster. Did you see his defending at the weekend again? Poor. Against Arsenal, he was shocking. Right? Rangnick has been a disaster. The players, to me, at Manchester United have been a disgrace. They have not been played. Most of those players, not all of them, most of those players, I feel, just down tools.
Yeah.
That was an example of it against Brighton. No chasing, no running players down.
It is actually
no
disgusting,
effort. It was
really.
terrible.
If you're a United fan, you know, we've heard Gary Neville really go in against United this season, called them disgusting, lack of effort, lack of fight, everything's gone. My question was, have they got the time to sort this whole thing out? Because it's not just the pitch, it's their problems off the pitch are way worse than their problems on the pitch.
Man United fans, you're going to have to do a bit like what Arsenal fans have had to do in recent times, which is just you realign yours. You know what I mean? You got to start saying to yourself, right, this is a bigger job than what we thought. Let's forget about leagues right now. Let's rebuild. Man United need to rebuild. Man United need to, you know, Ten Hag's coming in. He's got to freshen up literally the whole squad. I just look throughout the whole squad now, and I'm like, who would you keep?
United fans, let us know.
There's only
you
certain.
Need to let us know.
I mean, obviously, I would keep you Bruno Fernandez's and people like that, even though I know he's had a stinker this season and he's been whinging and moaning. Yeah. But I still think he's a quality player. I still think, you know, he's a guy. He needs a new guy to come in. De Gea's a De Gea is brilliant. I mean, he's been brilliant this season. Been the player of the season. I keep Ronaldo as well. That's the controversial one. I've heard people saying that, oh, well, Ronaldo, you know what I mean, the style of play, you've got to keep Ronaldo. If it worked for Ronaldo, where would Man United be this season? They wouldn't even have had any, you know, Champions League run or anything like that. So you've got to keep Ronaldo. He's only got one more year left on his deal. Keep Ronaldo, keep Bruno. Obviously, Varane's still going to be there. He's got to improve. Maguire. Do you keep Maguire?
Who would take Maguire?
Who'd take Maguire, mate? 80 million. You know, they need someone in that midfield. I mean, they need I think United need a Declan Rice. But would Declan Rice go to Man United right now?
If I was him, I wouldn't.
I mean,
some naughty comments actually from Declan Rice after that game. I don't know if you saw those, which we will speak about once we get on to West Ham. It was after the Frankfurt game when he wasn't happy with the referee. Yeah. Big up to Liam, who says Robbie Lyle is a better manager than Ranieri. He also says your son would do more than all the United players put together.
Honestly, United is a team full of... at the start of the season, I thought Manchester United would be challenging for the league. I honestly did. I looked at their team with the addition of Ronaldo. I was like, wow. But now all it turns out to have been was Hollywood. All Hollywood signings. They don't suit a lot of the signings don't suit what they need. Yeah. They need to rip it up and start again. I think the Ten Hag appointment might be good for them because, you know, they're getting a proper manager in now. You know what I mean? The last two guys ain't proper managers. Solskjaer was a guy brought in to shore things up. He shored it up. They should have then moved him on and brought in...
Kept him for too long.
That guy, but they kept him for too long. Rangnick has been a disaster. He just don't look like he's got a clue to me when you're looking at him on the... I mean, look at some of the results they've had this season.
That's the worst. Oh, I mean, is it the worst one, though? Because, remember, they lost 4-1 away at Watford.
Look at the result they had at your place.
5-0 at home against
Liverpool.
Watford
one.
5-0 they lost at home. Yeah. I mean, this has easily been United's worst ever season in the Premier League. And let's do exactly what you said, Rob. I want to see that, in fact. By the end of the season, I need to see a video on this channel that says then versus now. Yeah. And we look at all the predictions at the start.
I remember KG bouncing in here, laughing. Oh, we got Ronaldo.
As well, though,
we're going to win the league. Honestly, they have been shocking.
Mad.
By the way, on who's going to get relegated, our poll's been completed now. 65% of you say Leeds. 22% Burnley, 12% go for Everton. And Todd Miller says, Man United's mess is the only thing I've enjoyed this season in the league.
Big up to Todd.
Love in the chat, says Darkest Gooner. Angus McDowell says, I don't think Ten Hag will do any better.
Well, I mean, until the upstairs is sorted out, maybe whatever manager you bring in, it will be the same.
Graham Potter. May not have that glamorous name. It may not sound like a Ten Hag or something like. He's beaten Arsenal.
He has, yeah.
He went away and beat Tottenham, and now he's smashed up Man United.
Got a draw at Anfield as well.
Got a draw at Anfield. I think he's a very good manager. I remember from his days at Ostersons. I remember when Arsenal played them. Very progressive way of playing. This guy, deserves a big job. Nobody's talking about him when things get mentioned. Why couldn't he have been the guy for Man United? I mean,
if his name was...
Ten Hag's won the league with the team that's miles better than everybody else in Holland. If Graham Potter had that team, he'd win the league. I want to see him given a big job, because apart from the Tottenham one, because it's been rumoured he could
Deserves
get that.
it, man.
But honestly, he looks a really good manager to me.
If his name was Grahamino Potterzino, do you think his stock would be of
Graham
a higher
Hag.
caliber?
If he's Graham Hag. John Stewart says Ten Hag will improve United. He's an amazing coach. Yes, he's done brilliantly. But again...
Someone needs to improve United. They've gone through too many failed projects.
Like Liam says, Graham Potter's better than Rangnick.
There you go. Let us know.
And Conte. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
but honestly, I would really, I really think this guy deserves like a big job now. He's quality. The way he has his teams playing, you look at Brighton, yeah. And when we're talking about the relegation fight, and you look at some of those teams down there in the relegation fight, and then you look at Brighton and some of they ain't got no standout players. Have they? Their recruitment's been brilliant.
I couldn't say that there's one player, maybe apart from Basuma.
Yeah, and that's
from him.
Nobody knew Basuma before he came there.
True.
Nobody knew Cucurella, that Cucurella guy who scored, right? Who's been, I thought he's an outstanding left back, right? Trossard.
Given Tariq Lamptey a platform to shine.
Welbeck. You know what I mean? He's done brilliantly. And John Stewart says, Robbie, Ajax hadn't won the league title for 5 years prior to Ten Hag joining. He's won 3 in 4 years in Holland now. All right, now we're starting to get that Rangnick thing again. I think Ten Hag, don't get me wrong, Ten Hag is an absolutely quality manager.
Must be better than Rangnick.
He's one of the most sought after managers in Europe. Yeah. So, listen, there's nothing wrong with that appointment. I'm not saying, but Graham Potter, I think this guy's a manager for the future.
Let us know if you agree with Robbie and myself. Is Graham Potter worthy of one of the big jobs? Has he proved himself enough for you at Brighton? Let us know. As we move on to Leicester, losing at home again to Everton. I mean, this game was perfectly built for Leicester to send Everton down almost. But no, Everton are fighting back. Mikalenko, that's how you say his name. He scored a great goal, if I'm honest with you. And then Michael Keane, who, listen, he's had a lot of criticism this season. He had to come off the bench and replace Yerry Mina, and even he scores.
Yep.
So
and
Everton...
I thought Pickford in that game had another worldie. And that's, again, another player that gets a lot of stick, but the last few games that I've seen, if they stay up, it's going to be because of him.
Everton have won an away top-flight match for the first time in 15 games since beating Brighton back in August. In what was their third game of the season, the Toffees have now ended their run of 7 consecutive away defeats. But they've also recorded back-to-back league wins for the first time since September 2021, whilst their previous 2 wins before the victory over Chelsea came across a spell of 10 games. So, Robbie, I mean, Everton seemingly, according to the poll that we've just done as well, looking like they're the least likely to go down now when you consider Leeds losing and Burnley losing as well.
They're staying up. I told you. So, right, I'm convinced.
The skin of their teeth. Skin of their teeth, Rob.
But they're staying up. They're staying up. And you know, when I look at, I look at their running, they've got it's not even, it's easier. It's just that the games that they've got where they're playing at home. Yeah. And at home, they're strong. So, I'm just get their running.
He's getting their fixtures up now. Mikalenko is the very first Ukrainian to score a Premier League goal for Everton, the 39th different nationality to find the net in the competitions for the Toffees. And obviously that goal would be extra emotional for him right now. But who have they got still coming up?
Right, so they got Watford away. Brentford at home, Palace at home, and in the last game of the season they go away to Arsenal. But they may not need nothing from that game.
That could be a dead rubber, considering if you beat
it could be,
Well.
So if you look at it, right, at the moment after that win, they're a point above Leeds, but they've got a game in hand, which is that game against Watford. They win that, they go 38 points, right? That would take them 4 points above Leeds. They got, and then
You know what? Leicester in 14th. I can't believe that, Rob.
And you look at the running, just going back to it, Leeds is running. They got Chelsea at home, Brighton at home,
Tough.
and they got to go away to Brentford on the last day. That won't be easy. Brentford have been very strong at home. And then finally, if I look at Burnley, I'm looking at Burnley's fixtures. They got 3 games left. They got to go away to Tottenham, away to Villa, and last game of the season at they're at home against Newcastle. 3 tough games for them, but I just think that they might just survive. And Leeds, I mean, I don't want Leeds to go down, but it's not looking good for them at all. And just going back to Leicester, by the way, another goal conceded from a set piece. What is going on? It's shocking.
What? Leicester beat us this season away as well.
I don't know.
At the King Power, which is one of the games that we've lost.
Yeah,
and
they've
if we
had
didn't lose that, we'd be top of the league.
They've had a very, very poor season. They have
really poor.
And again,
another team that have suffered from their European exploits.
Yeah,
maybe?
they had a tough game during the week against Roma. Everton already, falling for Everton, sort of caught them at the right time, even though, Leicester missed a lot of chances. And as I said, another goal from a set piece. They missed so many goals from set pieces.
Unbelievable. Brendan Rodgers, let us know what you think about his season in general. Obviously did fairly well get into the semi-finals of the Europa Conference League. But then 14th, it looks like they might finish there. It's a poor one for Leicester. Let us know in the comments what you think. Another game that was happening this weekend. Norwich, who are already down, of course. They were the first team to go down. They lose 4-0 at home to West Ham. Now, West Ham, obviously massively disappointed in the week, losing to Frankfurt, but they've come out and actually performed well after their game in Europe, which hasn't been the case this season. Mikel Antonio ended his joint longest goal drought in the top flight with his 5th Premier League goal against Norwich. Only against Tottenham does he have more goals. And West Ham's Bowen is just the 2nd player for the club to register at least 10 goals and 10 assists in one Premier League season. Last person to do that for West Ham?
Di Canio.
It was Di Canio. Unbelievable there from you, Rob. 16 goals he got in the year 2000 and 13 assists. So Jared Bowen, his stock has risen unbelievably this season. He scored yesterday as well.
And West Ham.
I mean, this game was a bit of a dead rubber, though, wasn't it?
Well, you say dead rubber, but if you look at the moment, David Moyes was saying after the game he's desperate to get back into European football. As it stands, they're going to get into the Conference League. They've played 36 games now, got 55 points. But they've also got the incentive that they could chase down Manchester United. Now, Man United are only 3 points above them. They've only got 1 game left, United, right? West Ham have got 2 games left. Now, West Ham, they're 3 points back. I know one of those 2 games they've got left is against Man City, but they've got a superior goal difference to Man United. Imagine if they knocked United end up in the Conference League instead of the Europa League. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo's not going to be too happy about that, is he? No. So,
and United, trust me, I've spoken to fans. They'd rather not. They'd rather finish 8th. Flex told me the other week he'd rather finish 8th.
Yeah, but they can't finish 8th now.
They can't now.
So it's going to be either Europa League or Conference League. United in the Conference League.
Wow. Ronaldo in the Conference League.
In the Conference League.
Unbelievable. But listen, massive defeat that for Norwich. They're obviously down. Another game at the weekend, which slightly surprised me as well, was Brentford 3, Southampton 0. Brentford are just the 4th side to record a clean sheet in 4 Premier League games in a row at home this season after Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester City, the Bees doing so for the first time in their top flight history. Southampton were 2-0 down after 14 minutes with the South Coast side, shipping more goals in the first quarter hour of Premier League games than any other side this season with 12.
There were some fans at that game singing you're going to get sacked in the morning to
Hassan Hüttl.
He always has a part of the season when he does all right, and then it just falls away.
But is this about... And I don't like to use a golf analogy on a football show, but is this about par for the course for Southampton, though?
Yeah. I mean, but they finished the season horribly, haven't they?
Because they started it so well.
They finished
it balances itself
Thank
out,
God they did, or they'd be in relegation trouble.
True. Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins is one of only 9 players to have scored 10-plus goals in each of the last 2 Premier League seasons, 10 this season for him and 14 last year. Only one of 4 Englishmen along with Harry Kane, Vardy and Sterling. So Ollie Watkins back in the goals, Danny Ings back in the goals in his last 3
Hold on a
seasons.
minute. I'm sure Saka scored 10 goals as well. And Smith Rowe.
Well,
Must be just
mate,
on.
this is
Must be
Opta.
just on.
This is Opta.
Yeah, it's an
Don't
Opta,
have a go
mate.
at me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reading out what was said to me. But Ings as well scores 2 goals in the last 2 games. And obviously Aston Villa. Who do they play on Tuesday night?
Liverpool. Gerrard could end Liverpool's hopes. How ironic would that be?
Before we get into a little preview, looking ahead to the games in the week, let's finish off this one, Rob. Palace 1, Watford 0. Again, now that was a dead rubber. If we're talking about dead rubbers. Roy Hodgson has left. One thing I wanted to bring up about this game, obviously massive big fan favourite at Crystal Palace, Roy Hodgson. It was his last Premier League game, probably. He goes around and claps all the fans, the Crystal Palace fans, but didn't go over to the Watford fans, Rob. And he said it was too far away for him to.
Well, that's disgraceful, isn't it? That's disgraceful. That's the team that's paying your wages. I know there's been a lot of people who said, "Oh, well, poor Roy. You know, I mean, nothing he could have done." He's been absolutely dreadful since he's come in. Rubbish. You know, I know everyone wants to be nice to Roy
because he's an
elderly
gentleman.
He's an elderly statesman. He's done a lot for the game. But what has he done for Watford? He should have gone straight over and clapped those fans for them to even go to that game. When you think of the horror shows that they've had to witness, you know, nah, that's terrible. And I'm sorry, he's been very, very poor since he's come in there. He hardly won a game.
Yeah, well,
He's hardly won a game. He's lost about their last 5,
Watford
6 in a
fans
row.
let us know.
You know, and all I ever hear people saying is, "Oh, well, Roy went in there and the players, you know, they've, you know, these players, you know, yeah, obviously the players have been poor, but your job as a manager is to try and get the best out of them, right? So I think Roy Hodgson's been poor, and the players, they've all been poor, every single one of them, you know. And I feel it for the Watford fans. They're the ones I feel it for. How could you not go over and clap them? Go and clap them first. Not at Palace,
Rob.
Too far away. Bloody hell.
Right, let's talk about the games that are actually happening this weekend and in the week, actually. It is the week, I should say.
During the week, yeah.
So from May the 10th to May the 12th this week, we have Aston Villa at home to Liverpool. Aston Villa won this exact fixture 7-2 last season, as we all know. But they've not beaten Liverpool in consecutive home games since 1998. But Liverpool have won 7 of the last 8 games away at Villa, with the exception being that 7-2 defeat. How does this one end for you? Gerrard playing Liverpool, he has a chance to really, really put a nail in the coffin for Liverpool's title
Question
hopes.
for you. If it's Gerrard that ends your any hope of winning the league and the quadruple, will he still be looked upon by you as a club legend?
But let's not forget, he's playing Man City the week after that, and he's got another chance to get back in our good books if he does that.
Yeah, but
it's going to be difficult, Rob.
You'll be done and dusted by then, so it wouldn't make no difference.
Maybe. But listen, massive game.
I expect Liverpool to win that game.
Me too. I'm going for a Liverpool win there.
Yeah.
Leeds, Chelsea. This one is going to be... I can imagine the atmosphere in Ellen Road on a weekday night with the floodlights as well, Rob. This is going to be a belter of a game.
Yeah.
Leeds are winless in the last 7 league meetings with Chelsea since a 2-0 win in December 2002.
And of course, Chelsea have got the FA Cup final at the weekend to think about as well. But
it's come at a really bad time, this game.
It has. But Chelsea need to win, as I said. You know what I mean? If they didn't win that game, they could possibly then be chased down by either Arsenal or Tottenham. I think they will win it. I watched Leeds yesterday. I'm sorry. They can't defend.
I'm going to go with the draw, Rob.
Yeah?
I reckon a draw on this one.
I
can't lie to you.
Chelsea win for me.
Leicester, Norwich. Leicester unbeaten in the last 3 games against Norwich. I mean, again, Norwich are down. Leicester languishing in 14th. We'll go for a Leicester win.
Leicester win.
Watford, Everton. Massive game for Everton. Not so much for Watford. They're already down. Watford won this game 5-2 at Goodison Park, though. Under,
remember that game?
Ranieri.
Yeah, remember that game? That was about his only win, Ranieri.
Literally, it was.
Everton win.
Everton win.
Yeah.
And will that win guarantee their safety?
What have you seen Watford's home record?
Oh,
they've lost nearly every game at home. It's been dreadful. That's what I'm saying. Why no one's questioning Hodgson on these things? Poor old Roy. What about the poor old Watford fans? That's what I deal with.
Poor old Roy.
The poor old Watford fans, not poor old Roy.
What about Elton John?
All the players. Yeah, the fans.
The Rocket Man.
These fans
I
have to
feel
put
sorry
up
for
with
him.
manager being changed from manager. Yeah, I mean, that's who I feel sorry for, not Roy. Respect to Roy, he's an elder statesman in the game, but he's been absolutely hopeless, right? The fans I feel sorry for, and unfortunately, I'll be feeling sorry for them again come Wednesday night because Everton are ever going to win that.
Frank Lampard has won all 3 of his Premier League meetings with Roy Hodgson by an aggregate score of 9-2. So
Watford players are either on the beach or packing their bags to leave the club.
Well, they'll be in the Championship next season, and as we know, it's difficult to get back out of that.
Yeah.
Wolves at home to Manchester City. Now, Wolves lost this game 3-1 last season, but they haven't lost consecutive home games against City since 1981.
Always been one of City's bogey teams, haven't they?
They have
one
been,
of them
actually.
teams, a
They
bit like
have been.
Tottenham are to City as well. But can't see City.
Yeah,
They can see the finishing line now.
Yeah, if
It's
City
all they've
don't
got
win
to
that
play
game,
for.
though, Rob. If City don't win that game,
Let's you
actually,
back in.
forget it.
Then the quadruple's back on, isn't it?
Tottenham Arsenal. You see this game here. Ooh. As a neutral, I tell you what, Rob, I cannot wait to sit down and watch this one on fair. And I will be thinking of you. And I'm going to be supporting Arsenal in this game. I'm going to be returning the favour. So I want Arsenal to get top 4 after Tottenham put a couple of buses at Anfield on Saturday night. But what's your prediction on this one? And let's not forget, Robbie, I'm going to build this one up for you.
AGK.
All right. We've heard that one today. Robbie, and I'll remind you again, if Arsenal win this game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, an amazing name for a stadium, by the way, guaranteed top 4, Rob. Has there been a bigger North London derby ever?
Well, there has been because we've been there and won the league twice.
True.
But
just to remind you,
it's a huge game. If they win it, there'll be just a point behind us, and gives them a lot of momentum. And you look at Arsenal's last 2 games; they're difficult games. Got to go away to Newcastle.
Yeah, that's true.
Last game at home to Everton. We don't know, will Everton still need to fight for, something? So, but the incentives of winning the game to go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and cement 3rd place, that prize is huge.
It is, Rob, man.
But it's a place that we haven't won there yet. We didn't win there last year. We've not had a great record away at Tottenham. It's been a real strange, these local derbies between us and them. They never win at our place. We never seem to win at their place. But if we could go there and win,
you're just dreaming
that would
about
make
it now, aren't you?
It would make my season. There were times this season where I was just like, this season's just like horrible. But what a way to finish it off if we could go there and get a result. But it's going to be a tough game. Listen, it's their attacking free of Kulusevski, Son.
Kulusevski.
I'll pronounce it how I want.
All right. There you go.
As I said, I'll pronounce it. It's not even he's a Tottenham player. I pronounce it how I want. Son and Harry Kane, much as I hate to say it, they're absolute quality players. And if we switch off at any time, they can hurt us. But we've got players that can hurt them. And I think the thing is about us is that when anybody who's watched a lot of Arsenal away from home this season, we've been not bad on the road. And we don't go out all-out attack. I think people still have it in their head that Arsenal is the same Arsene Wenger type. Arteta's a lot different.
Yeah.
He will go there and he'll be more pragmatic and look to catch them on the counter-attack. So I don't think it's going to be like the Liverpool game where, we leave loads of spaces open. I
think you're going to do it.
I think
I'm
we
going
can do
for
it,
an
man.
Arsenal win here.
I think
really
we can do it. The pressure's on them.
That's it.
And they don't always handle pressure very well. So I just can't wait for the game. I'm going to be so nervous on that day. I mean, it's so much on it, But,
a lot on it. Big up to Earth Extremities, by the way. It says, breaking news just into us. AGT has secured lifetime job at DR Sports status after his positive prediction on Arsenal's 4th place. There it is. Lifetime contract.
I like that one. Paulina said, Diaz, Stones and Walker all out for the last 3 games.
Yeah.
But they do have an unbelievable squad.
It's a bit like, when managers go, they're out for the season now.
Yeah.
There's only 2 games left.
Exactly. Ash says, there's never been a bigger North London derby. This time, we're both playing for something. When we won it at theirs, they just wanted to stop us. That's very, very true. And the thing is, they have to really and truly, Tottenham have to win.
Oh, it's
a draw's
so
not a good
massive.
result for them either. A draw's a poor result.
But guess what, Rob?
Not poor, but a draw's not a great result for them.
If Arsenal win this game, does Conte stay? That's a question.
I think he said he's going to stay, hasn't he? When they've questioned him
Yeah,
about
but we
it.
know what he's like. As soon as he gets a call from one of the Italian clubs, he's going
I
back.
think it's what they're going to give him
That's
in
it.
the summer. If they don't give him the right and proper budget, I don't think he will stay. I think he might walk. I think he might say to himself, I ain't staying here to be in the Conference League and Europa League.
That's true.
So,
Big up to
but-
UPZ. AGT needs a tan. 100%. Trust me on that one.
He just been on holiday.
Oh, that was a while back, Rob. I will have to go again. I'm going Cornwall at the end of the month, to be fair. But yes, Conte will leave, says Liam. I mean, if he leaves, he's only signed an 18-month contract. Tottenham fans wish it was 18 years.
It's a weird deal as it is.
And we're maybe 6 months into that already.
Yep. It's
So,
a weird deal. It's a weird deal.
You don't like to go into a new season only having a year left. You like to top it up.
18 months suggests that's a deal where the person's, he might walk or they might get rid of him. And then, you contrast that with Arsenal. It's what I was saying earlier to the United fans with the rebuilding process and that. You contrast that with Arsenal. They just gave Arteta a new contract extension, which they gave to him on Friday. He's got the youngest team in the Premier League, and he
needs respect for that.
Hats off to Arteta. He came back after the international break. He lost 3 on the bounce to teams. He's not won his last 4 games in a row. If we do this, we deserve it.
Agreed.
What a run! And those last, as I said, Chelsea, Man United, West Ham away as well, and Leeds that were fighting for their lives. If he does this. If he goes to Tottenham and he gets that job done.
You are salivating at the thought of that.
It's like what you said earlier, you know what I mean? Apart from, you then look on it and say, apart from either Pep or Klopp, he's been the next best manager in the league.
That's why I said
we
it.
can get that top 4.
That's
You
why I said
are
it.
right with that.
AGT will get that tan in Paris. ... says Ray Cassim. Thank you for
Oh, that's it. Yeah, you get that tan in Paris.
Beautiful stuff. Listen, Rob, what a show that's
Can't wait
been,
for that
by the
game,
way.
by the way.
We've not only previewed everything to come this week, but we've looked back at the weekend's roundup, and there were some massive moments in the league. And guys, don't forget that the DR Sport channel is the only place to be in the month of May. Tell them what we've got coming up, Rob.
Oh, well, this weekend, we got the FA Cup final, which is going to be huge, right? So massive watch along to that. And of course,
Sunday football show this week as well.
Sunday football show, not the Saturday football show. The Sunday football show. If you haven't watched the Saturday football show,
you got to get on it.
Yeah, got to get on it, right? AGT, Matty.
The banter is elite,
the
man.
Banter is elite banter. Matisse when he's on as well.
He scored the other day.
Oh, right.
He keeps getting baited by my comments,
and of course we're doing it on Sunday because literally all the games are on Sunday of any significance. So apart from the FA Cup final, which is on the Saturday. So Saturday, the FA Cup final. Then, of course, we're going to be doing the Champions League final. We're going to be doing the Europa League final, Conference League final. We're going to be doing all of those. And we are going to be covering all of the women's Euros in the summer.
Love to see
here
that,
on
Rob.
the channel. We're going to be doing all of those, right? So keep it locked here. Exciting times there on DR Sports, right? And we're always looking for fans to come on. This channel is all about fans, all right? So keep it locked here.
You say that, right? My mate, who's a massive Rangers fan, has just said, DR have got me in for the Rangers final. Good luck to Liverpool, mate.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
This is what we like.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm looking forward to that final. Rangers, by the way. Oh, what a job that Van Bronckhorst has done. Yeah. And, they got a chance of winning a European trophy.
And straight into the Champions League if they win it.
Amazing. Looking forward to that.
Who knows what happens there. But Robbie, it's been a pleasure. As always, every single Monday morning, we'll be sitting here rounding up the weekend for you. Until later on in the week, I guess we'll see you soon. Take care and subscribe to DR Sports.